Hey guys, welcome back to Joanne's Learning Hub. Today we'll be discussing about databases by using the software MS Access. First, we'll learn some vocabulary that we would be using quite often while using databases. These definitions may be asked in your theory paper too. So what are these vocabularies? Databases, database programs, a file, field, record, and then the flat file database and the relational database. So, what is a database? A database is an organized collection of data. Next is database program. Now, a database program is software which stores and retrieves data in a structured way. A file is an organized collection of records, and a file can have one or more tables within it. Next up is field. Now a field is a single item of data, and each field can contain only one type of data, for example a text, numbers or a date. A record is a collection of fields, and a record can contain different data types. There are two types of databases, flat file database and relational database. A flat file database stores its data in one whole table only, so it's organized by rows and columns. Whereas a relational database stores data in more than one table which is linked together and stored in a file. So how do we create a new database in MS Access? We click on Home, then click on Blank Database. We get the option to rename the file, so I'll rename it to DB Practice. Then we can click on the file option to locate to the work area where you want to store your database. So click here, and then click on OK, and then you click on Create. So your brand new database is ready. It is blank, and by default table 1 opens. These are two sample questions from the IGCSE ICT Specimen Paper 2023 to import a text or CSV file into Access. I'll be covering it in the next slide. So after opening a blank database, the question may ask you to import a certain CSV or a text file. So to do that, you click on the External Data tab, then click on New Source Data. A drop-down list will appear from which you go to File, and then click on Text File. Then you click on Browse, and then we'll go to the specimen paper, and then I'll be clicking on SP02 YORTS, and then click on Open. Then I say OK. Then the import text wizard will appear. So then we click next. Then since we can see that the first row, it does contain field names, YORT name, type, YORT ID. So we'll put a check here to make sure that this is the first row which contains field names. Then we click on next. If the question asks you to skip any field, any column, you can put a check here, so it won't import this column. That's not necessary for the question at the moment, so we'll click on next. Now primary key, you can choose your own primary key and then click on YORT ID. So YORT ID will be my primary key. The question usually states what must be the primary key. Then we click on next, then finish. So the SP02 YORTS table has opened. You can close table 1 because it's not needed. Now the SP02 YORTS table, you can open design view, since in the question, as we can see, it is specifically said certain field names and their data types. So the yacht name, the type, and the yacht ID, all three must be text. So yes, they are short text, that's okay. Then we have the length, which must be a number to 1 dp. So we go to length, which is a number, and then here decimal places, click on the downward arrow and we can click 1 dp. Then we have builder ID, which must be text. Price is in currency or numeric, the currency symbol, and 0 dp. So price was to be text. Builder ID is text, price is a number, decimal places must be 0. Then we have the builder, sleeps, and crew, all three are number. Then we save and then click on the datasheet view again. And that's how we import the first we have imported the first file of sp02 yachts.csv. Now the next question, we have to import another CSV file. So again, if you want, you can put a cross, close the table, and then click on external data again, new data source, from file, then we click on text file, browse, specimen paper. So we want the sp02 builders.csv this time, so I'll be clicking on this file, open, okay, next. Then again, first row contains field names, next. Now in this case, the question asks us to identify the most appropriate field to set as a primary key. So it requires you to go through the table. So if we see carefully, I think builder ID would be best to put as the primary key. So we go to next, then click on choose my own primary key, and then builder ID. Then click on next, then finish. So we open the sp02 builders, design view. Since the question has told to format all data types as text, telephone is a number, we will change it to short text, the rest is text anyways, and then we save it. Before we continue, I would just like to add that in the sp02 yachts table, in the price field, we can even change the data type to currency, and then make sure that the decimal places are 0. So our next question requires us to create a one-to-many relationship between the builder fields. So we go back to our table of sp02 builders, where the builder ID is a primary key, and then in our sp02 yachts, the builder ID is just a field. So we go to database tools and then click on relationships. Double click on both the tables to add them, then just increase their size so that the fields are visible. Then you drag the builder ID over here to the builder ID of the next table. So the edit relationship pop-up opens. It is a one-to-many relationship between builder ID of the builder table to the builder ID of the yachts table, and then you can click on create. So you can see the one-to-many relationship has been created. Now another common question that's asked is adding new records. So this is relatively easy. Just need to add the records very carefully. You need to add it in the yachts table. So go to access. You can save the relationship and then close. Then in the yachts table, go back to date. Save it again. Yes. And then we go to the last record. And then we have an option of creating a new blank record. And then we type in the details. First is the yacht name, which is Antalex. Then type is motor, MO126. Motor. Then the length is 26. The builder ID is 31 SANIT. So 31 SANIT 795,000 and then 2011. And then 3. 6 and 3. So as you can see, since the price field was changed to currency, the dollar symbol appeared, and so all the numbers over here have the dollar symbol. So the only thing in adding a new record is you must make sure that all the spelling, the number, everything must be accurate according to what they have given. And then of course the question tells you specifically check your data entry for errors, and then you save your data. So Control S and your data is saved. Now you may be asked the difference between the primary key and the foreign key fields. So a table which has a primary key has a field that holds unique data. So there is no two records that are the same in this field. So in the SP02 builders table, the builder ID is the primary key. So it holds unique data. A foreign key is a key field data in one data table which stores value from a primary key field in another table. So basically now in the SP02 yachts we have the builder ID, which is not the primary key of this table, but it is the primary key of the SP02 builders table, which is why the builder ID in this case, the yachts table, is a foreign key, because it is a primary key field of another table. So if you carefully observe the SP02 yachts table, in the length field, the length was actually supposed to be data type as number and displayed as one decimal place only. But in Access, the length field is shown to one decimal place, a whole number, and even 2 dp for that matter. So if something like this happens, you must immediately go to the design view again. So the length field, we have put it to 1 dp, but the format must be as fixed. Then you save it, Ctrl S, and then go back to your datasheet view. So now the whole length field is set to 1 decimal place. Now moving on to the next question that comes very frequently in most database tasks. Using fields from both tables, produce a tabular report that. So the main steps to successfully approach this question is 1. You identify all the field names required by the question, and this must be usually from all the tables of your database. Then you perform a query and you may be asked to add a new field, and when you add this new field you may be asked to perform certain calculations like addition, subtraction, multiplication or division. Then you create a report using the query you have just performed, and in the report you may have to use a column to calculate maybe the average, the minimum or the maximum, the count, and even basic addition, subtraction, multiplication or division, and then display this value you have calculated below the column. Then you may be asked to edit the orientation and the design, and then you'll have to save your report. So I'll show you how we must do all these steps using the question in the specimen paper. So we go to question 22. The question asks us to use fields from both tables and produce a tabular report that. So first bullet point tells it must select records where build year is after 2010 and length is 40 or less. It contains a new field called total births, which is calculated at runtime. So this field will add the sleeps field to the crew field. So yes, this is where you have to add a new field, and the calculation is adding the sleeps field to the crew field. Then you have to only show the fields yacht name, builder name, type, length, price, build year, build country, sleeps, crew, and the total births in this order with data and labels displayed in full, and you must not group the data. Sorts the data into ascending order of type, so you have to sort your data in ascending order of type and descending order of length. Page orientation must be landscape. It must fit on a single page wide, and then include the heading yachts less than 15-year-old. So this will be your heading, which is displayed in a larger font size at the top of the page, and it has your name, center number and candidate number in the footer of the report. So we go to our database. Then so we can see in the question the first 3 bullet points will involve the query, and then from the query you have to create the report. So we go to Access, then create query wizard, simple query wizard. Okay, then now here is where the order comes into play. So yacht name, builder name and type. So yacht name, now builder name is SP02 builders table, so builder name. Then type is again in the yachts table. Then we have the length, price and build year. The length, the price and the build year, and then the build country, the sleeps and the crew. The build country, then the sleeps and the crew. Of course here you won't have the total births field yet, because you need to add this new field and calculate it at runtime. So we'll click on next, and then next. So we'll leave it this name only, just put it as query question 22, and then finish. So we have yacht name, builder name, type, length, price, build year, build country, sleeps and crew. Now we go to the design view. So these are both our tables along with the relationship between builder ID from the builder's table to the builder ID of the yacht's table. Now if we see the bullet point here, build year is after 2010. So we go to build year. Is greater than 2010. Then the length is 40 or less. So it's less than or equal to 40. And then Control S and then click on run. So yes, build year is after 2010 because we can't see 2010 anywhere, and then it is after the length is less than equal to 40. So yes, all these values are less than equal to 40. Now add a new field which is total berths. Make sure the spelling is correct. So we'll go to the end. Colon. And then you add, we need to add sleeps to the crew. So S, then close square bracket, then plus, and then CREW. And then we'll run it. So yes, the total berths is visible. It's adding the sleeps to the crew. So we just need to check. It's 2 plus 0, which is 2. Then 7 plus 6 is 13. So yes, it is adding. And now we need to create our report using this query. So we go to create, then report. So you can see the mistake I made here. It is create and then you go to report wizard. Do not click on report because we need to sort our data into ascending and descending order. So since it is the query, we just put the double arrow, then click on next. Next. We do not want to add any grouping levels. Next. And now we have to sort the data ascending order of type, descending order of length. So ascending order of type and then descending order of the length. Then click on next. It's a tabular report and our orientation must be landscape. Then next, we will rename it to report 1 and then we will modify our report's design and click on finish. So we have to rename our report heading to what they've given in the question, which is yachts less than 15 years old. And then we can do a bit of editing, make it bigger than the text, which it already is. We can change it to Arial maybe, Arial black, make it bold. now we go to the report view, or let's go to the layout where you have to adjust. Now as we can see, the columns is not arranged in the order which is stated to us in the question, so we have to arrange it again. So yacht name, builder name, and then type. So you click on the heading and then click on shift and then click on the fields below, and then you can use your up and down arrows, the left and right arrows to move the columns. Then we have builder name and then the type. So our builder name is here. Just move the length. Resize the type column. Then we have length, price, and build year. Length, then the price, then we have build country, sleeps, grow. Build country. This little bit. And then the sleeps column. The crew column. This is yacht name, builder name, type, length, price, build year, build country, sleeps, crew, and the total berths. Page orientation is landscape, must fit on a single page wide. Heading must be this, and we must put a name, center number, and candidate number in the footer of the report. So, go to design view. Take a label, then put name, center number, then candidate number, maybe 0001. Then put it in the report footer. Then we'll see the print view. It's going to 2 pages, and if we don't want our name, center number, candidate number to be in the report footer, and we want it to come in all the pages, so we again go back to the design view, then put it back up here. which is the page footer. Click on save and then print preview. So now we can see our heading, which is bigger than the rest of the text, and then we can see our name, center number, candidate number in the footer, and then you save your document. This is a continuation of the previous slide, where I'll now be covering question 23 from the specimen paper, which is again creating tabular reports. So this will help to make you thorough with your concepts. So now question 23 again states that we must use fields from both tables, produce a tabular report that selects those records where country code is NZ or AU and the builder name includes the text yacht. Shows the fields yacht name, builder ID, builder name, type, length, price and build country in this order. Do not group the data. Sorts the data into descending order of price, has a page orientation of portrait, fits on a single page, calculates the average length in this selection and positions this number below the length column. So this is where I said you may be asked to perform a calculation using a certain column. So here you are taking an average of the length column and placing it below the length column. And then this average length value must be to 1 dp. Includes the heading Oceania boat builders as title and has your name, center number and candidate number at the top or bottom of the report. Right, so we'll go to access. Again, now we'll have to create a new query. So create, then query wizard, simple query wizard. Okay, then we need the yacht name, builder name, type, length. Builder name, then the type, the length, price and build country. Price and build country. Then we click on next. Next, I'll rename this to query question 23 and finish. So we have got our data with the yacht name, the builder name, type, length, price and the build country. So now we have to put the country code as NZ or AU. We go to the design view. Now if you notice, we don't actually have the country code as a field that's displayed in this query, but still we need to put it as NZ or AU. So country code is SP02 builders. So clicking here, then you can double click on country code. We will not put a check here because we don't want to show country code, but we will have the criteria, which is NZ, then close quotation, then O capital, or then again open quotation, AU, and then close, and then you save it. So if we run it, you can see that these are the ones with only the country code NZ and AU. We can see that even from the build country, Australia and New Zealand. Now the next part involves builder name includes the text yacht. The builder name includes the text yacht. So if it just has to include a text and not just the text, so it will be like, LIKE, and then the asterisk, then YACHT, then close asterisk. Then you can press enter, save it, Ctrl S, and then run. So our builder name has the word yacht in it. It's not just the word yacht, but it includes the word yacht in all the names. Now we have to start making our report. So create. Now remember, report wizard. Then we are using the query from query question 23. Double arrow. Next. We do not want to add any grouping levels. Now we need to sort our data in descending order of price. So, price and descending order. Next, it's a tabular report. Page orientation will be portrait. Okay. Next, I'll name that, put the title as maybe what's the heading given here. Modify the report's design and how we preview the report. Then finish. Right. So we'll go to the layout view. Again, we need to arrange it according to the order stated in the question. Yacht name, builder name, type. So move this on the side of it. Yacht name, then it's the builder name. Then the type. You can reduce the size of it. Then we have the length, price and build country. So length will come first. We can increase the size of it. Then comes the price. We'll make all of them centered. Right, so none of them are overlapping. We must make sure none of the columns overlap and that all the data can be clearly seen. Now we'll go to design view. Again, the heading, it is Oceana Boat Builders. So we'll remove report and again make it Arial black, bold. Bring it to the center. Okay. You can even change the color of the background. Maybe a green. Then see the layout view again. Then save. Okay. Now we must make sure our report fits on a single page. So we can go to the print preview and see if it fits on single page. Yes, it is. So we do not need to worry about it fitting on a single page. Now we need to calculate the average length in this selection and positions this number below the length column. So we need to calculate the average length and place this value below the length column. So to do that, we'll select the length column. Then make sure you're in report layout design you have the option in grouping and totals, you have the option of totals, and click on average. So as you can see, this value will be positioned just below the length column. Similarly, if the question would have asked maybe to add, you have the option of sum, counting records, counting values, maximum, minimum, standard deviation, and variance. Now we'll go to our design view. You can see formula, which is average of the length, and we can maybe add a label. Average length. Then you can associate the label with the control, which is AVG length. Then save it, and then again view it in the print preview. Yes, so average length is coming. We can go to the layout view and then make this value come nearer to the length column, and then save it. Now this average length value must be to 1 decimal place. So to do this, we go to axis and then go to our design view. Now of course, when we have to round any value to 1 decimal place, we click on just after the equal to, then round, ROUND, this value, then go to the end of the bracket, then put a comma to 1 dp, then close bracket and enter. Control S, and then view it in the, yes, so it's giving us the data in 1 dp. And again we'll just make it a bit more arranged. Go to the layout view and bring it underneath. Control S. Now heading, we have included our heading. It's in larger font size at the top of the page, and we need to have our name, center number, candidate number either at the top or the bottom of the report. So we go to axis. In this case, since they said either top or bottom, it doesn't matter where you put your name, center number, or candidate number. So we'll go to report design, create a label, add it over here maybe, random center number AB123, and then 0001. Put to the side and then save. Then view it again in print preview. Yes, it's visible. We can maybe increase the header a bit. So go back to design view, then slightly increase size to the page header, then save it. And yes, so our report is ready, so we will save it. Now the next question, which is the last in the database task, requires you to export the report created in step 23 in a portable document format, which is PDF. and save the exported file in your work area. So we'll go back to Access. Make sure you have saved it. Then when you right click on this report which you are asked to print, you will get the option of export, and you will export it as PDF or XPS. Then we'll go to the work area where you want to save it, and then I'll be saving it as Oceana Boat Builders report. It's PDF and publish. Close. And yes, that's how you save it as a PDF format. So if you want, you can always check in your work area. So it will open the PDF over here. So yes, it has saved the Oceana Boat Builders report as a Microsoft Edge PDF document format. And this is our PDF with the average length placed right under the length column. Now I'll be covering 2 extra topics which haven't been mentioned in this specimen paper. Creating data labels, which I'll be covering in this slide, and then data entry forms, which I'll be covering in the next slide. So to create data entry labels for a certain table, so suppose I want to create a data entry label for SP02 builders. I click on create, then just below report wizard there is the option of labels. So we click on labels. By default it is set to the metric unit of measure and then sheet feed, which is the label type, but you can customize to add your own sizes as well. So if the question states a specific height, width, length, you can adjust that over here. Then we click on cross and then we click on next. You can choose your font style. So for now I'm making it Arial. The font size you can choose, the color, whether it's italics or underline. Then we click on next, and here's where you will actually type out your label. So the question may ask you, for example, to put a suitable heading. So maybe I'll write builder information, and then you click enter. Then you add one field. So you can just either use the arrow or double click on the field. So builder name, builder ID. Now next, enter. Then builder ID, enter. The address, okay, the place, then the address, then the region, and then maybe the build country. And then you may be asked to type your name, center number and candidate number at the bottom of the label. So on the last line, name, center number, and then the candidate number. Then next. Now if the question asks you to sort the data by a certain field, you can just click on the required field and then double click or use the arrow to move it in the sort by column. At the moment we are not sorting by any field, so we'll click on next. You can rename the label, so maybe finish. Okay. Right. So you can adjust in the design view, you can adjust it. So you can maybe increase the size of builder information. Make it 12 maybe, and centered, bold. Increase the size. If you need to give headings, you can even resize the label. One field can reduce its size. And then add suitable labels. This will become the builder name colon, then another label, builder ID colon. For the rest as well, so the builder ID, this will be place, this will be address, region, and then lastly country. Shift this down a bit, and then save. You can change the so you go to page setup, and then you can change the number of columns. Make it 2, 3 depending on what the question asks you. You can change the orientation from portrait to landscape, then save, and then you go to home, and then the print preview. And then we go to print. Yes, so our print preview has opened up, and yes, we have 2 columns, and we have the builder name, which is given according to the data, then builder ID, the place, the address, the region, the country, and then the name, center number, and candidate number. And from here you can click on print to print your data label. And that's how we create data labels. Now moving on to our very last topic, which is creating a data entry form. So I'll be using the SP02 yachts table. To create the form, we'll click on create, then click on form wizard, and then since we'll be using all the fields, I'll click on the double arrow, and then next, it will be a columnar form. Next, we can rename the form to maybe form practice, and then finish. So I need to redesign the form, so we'll go to design view. I'll be changing the size of form practice, the space, left aligned. Right. Then we go back to our design view. You can always increase the size of the form. So now a well designed form can include buttons, it can include even drop down menus and radio buttons also. So if we need to add radio buttons, for example, so we'll click on this option group, which is shown by the symbol of XYZ with a box. Create it, and then you'll get this option group wizard. So suppose I want to do it for type, so I'll make it as motor, and then next one will be sale. Next, I do not want a default. Next, then you can choose the design of your option group. So it can be shadowed, sunken, raised, flat, or etched. So I'll choose shadowed. Option buttons or checkboxes. And then next, you can rename it to type. And then finish. You can increase its size. Increase the size of the report a bit more. So we'll move. Show the type like this. You can always resize the box. Form view. So okay, there's a bit of space we need to add, so let's see if we can bring it to layout view. Yes, now it's fine. And we need to bring this towards the center, and then we can choose either motor or sail. So we go back to form view, and you can choose which one it will be. Now if we want to add buttons, we go to form design, then this is the image for button. Now if I create a button over here, maybe to go to the next record, next, so it will be a picture, so it will look like this. Next, I'll give it then the button will look like this. Now another button I'll create, previous, then click on next, so it will look like this. Then next, even if you leave it as command 27, it doesn't matter, but it's better if we rename it. Then finish. We can add a few more buttons. Maybe go to first record, next, and finish, and then go to last record, next, finish, and add it here. Then you can create more buttons. record operations category, you have the option of adding a new record. So you can click on next. So maybe for this we'll add text. So add new record, you can rename it always. Then next and finish. Then you can increase its size and adjust it. Right, save it and then go to form view. So this is how our form will look. So if we now want to go to the next one, we'll click on next. So you can see it's gone to the next field, the next set of data. So this, if we see the yachts table, we can understand better. So if you see the type field, it was only motor or sail. So either motor or sail. So that's why I gave in the radio button option group motor or sail. So we can choose any one. Now suppose I want to go to the last record, I'll click on this button. So it takes me to the 467th record of 467. So this is the last record, and if I want to go to the first record, I'll click on this one. So first record, and it's this one. Now if I want to add a new record, so maybe I'll click here, so I can add a new record, and then we can put a certain name, give the type either motor or sail, the yacht ID, length, builder ID, price, build year, sleeps and crew, and then you can save it. And that's how our well designed data entry form is ready. So let's recap what we have learned. Initially, we learned how to import a CSV or a text file as a table and add appropriate data types. Then we added suitable primary and foreign keys. We created relationships between tables, which was specifically the one-to-many relationship. Then we performed queries and searches. And lastly, we created reports, data labels, and data entry forms. So this was a complete walkthrough of the entire IGCSE ICT MS Access databases. So I hope you found this video helpful, and please do remember to like, share and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Till then, happy learning.